Hello, Basic Fun. I'm just going to be sharing with you things that I've learned the last few years from my teaching. Implementing my ILP. The target standard that I focused on was CSTP 4.3, which states developing and sequencing long-term and short-term instructional plans to support student learning. So I stated that I wanted to research resources and strategies online. I wanted to speak with experts in the field, and I also wanted to attend a training in this area. How successful were you in meeting your professional growth goal? And what evidence did I base it? So I feel that I was very successful in this last year. I improved greatly on my ability to sequence my short-term and long-term goals. I put more effort towards my planning. I spoke with individuals. I did exactly what I said I wanted to do. I researched online. I got some books. I spoke with individuals who are successful in this area, and I also attended training. So I feel that I learned a lot in this area, and I implemented those goals that I wanted to hit this year. Describe the impact on your teaching practice that resulted from implementing your application plan. Well, obviously, my teaching practice significantly improved, as well as my enjoyment of my job. When you're planned, I found out that you enjoy things more because the students are enjoying things more. So since I knew where I wanted to take my lessons, weeks ahead of the time, I was able to find more resources, find more engaging material, and just make the lessons better for the students in general, which in turn made things better for me. I was more prepared on being able to teach the subjects and finding just different activities for the students. Describe the impact on student achievement and or behavior that resulted from implementing your application plan. Well, I noticed a positive difference in my students. I noticed that they were more engaged in the material. I noticed that each focus student was more engaged, but I also noticed that they learned the material better. They learned it short-term better, and then also long-term. They held on to the information better, which showed that planning helps meet the needs of each of your students. You're able to plan more to each student's needs and make sure that you're going to meet their needs. What new knowledge and or insights did you gain? I learned that students learn better when they enjoy the process of learning. I knew this and I've heard this before, but experiencing it firsthand really changes your understanding of it. Also, that teaching is a lot less stressful when you have short-term and long-term plans laid out. You don't have to think and sweat about what you're doing the next day. You get to know what you're doing the next day, and you get to be excited about it. How will you apply what you learn to your future teaching practice? I'm just going to continue making short-term and long-term plans that are fun, engaging, and interactive. This will help me enjoy my job and help the students learn better. What might your next steps be so that you can continue to meet your growth goals and move your practice forward? I'm going to continue to interact with peers in the field that are successful in this area. I'm going to continue to research resources online and through books and trainings. I'm going to just continue to look for different ways to improve my practice in this area, as well as other areas. Now we're going to move on to knowing the context in which I taught. So we're going to look at my class profile. This is a forensic science class that's comprised of about 21 at-risk youth who are in the grades 8th through 12th. And so some of them are also fifth-year seniors. I have about 5 African Americans, 3 Asian descent, 5 Caucasian descent, and 8 Hispanics. Many of my students are expelled from local districts, or they're just not able to go into a regular general setting because of their attendance issues or some other issue, or their parents or guardian asked for them to be in our program. But we have at-risk youth. And about 4 of my students are on an IEP plan, with 1 on a 504 plan. They all qualify under specific learning disability. And then none of my students are recognized as advanced learners. I have some that are higher than others in my class, but none that really are far above average students of their grade levels. And I have 1 student who has a lot of food allergies, sensitive to different things like perfume and everything. But and the one student who's deathly afraid of deathly not afraid, allergic of mushrooms. And then I have 5 English language learners, but all of them speak English pretty well. So that's very nice. My focus students, my EL student, CELT scores, her overall CELT score is 561, which lands her in the top portion of the intermediate category. Her listening scored 517, which put her in the bottom portion of the intermediate category. And then all of those scores, pretty much she's intermediate in everything except for speaking. She's advanced section or earning a 632. Her primary language is Khmer. It's from Cambodia. She was sent to us through Stockton Unified because of attendance problems. So her main issue is not really grasping material, but it's getting to school, which did create learning gaps in her abilities and her learning. She seems to interact well with students of her culture as well as outside of her culture. She's a very social girl, very low temperament. She has a very easy temperament. She's easy to get along with, really sweet. She could improve her choice of talking during times when she's not supposed to talk in class. And then her phone can be an issue, just like every one of my other students. She always shows a positive behavior, even when I have had to take away her phone or prompt her to get on task. She has always responded appropriately, responded very respectfully and kind. Like I said, she responds respectfully to authority figures and does not challenge the teachers or staff when they redirect her. She can be unmotivated at times, but for the most part, she's a great student. Next slide. She is functioning below students that are expected at her age. She missed so much school in the past. Like I said, there's learning gaps throughout different categories of subjects. What teaching strategies, student activities? I definitely noticed that she works a lot harder and better on task when I give her something that she's interested in. And so I try to gear class projects that have freedom. I try to gear those towards her interests or likes. I let her choose what she wants to do a report on within the category that will meet the needs that I'm looking for. For instance, I noticed that every time I let her get on the computer, she's always looking up this certain rapper. And so I just offered her the opportunity to be able to do a report on him instead of just always being off task. I said, then you can get credit for doing that. And so she did that. She made a report on that. And then now she's working on a report of her home country, which is Cambodia. Out of class activities. She's not really involved with out of class activities. She enjoys hanging out with peers, partying, music, being on her phone like all other teens her age. Like I said, I try to find things that she's interested in. What are the main challenges you face? Main challenges I face is just finding things that she's going to enjoy. If she doesn't enjoy it, I notice she gets off task a lot more, as well as seating her in the right place in the classroom. When she's sitting next to people that she talks to, she tends to talk a lot if she enjoys their company or if they talk a lot. So to communicate with the families, we have quarterly parent-teacher conferences. We have SSTs when necessary. She hasn't had to have one. Usually it's for problematic behavior, and she has not had anything that's concerning. And then I'll make phone calls when necessary throughout the quarter to communicate with families, parents, about the student's progress. And then if she gets picked up or dropped off, I always try to make contact with the parent then too. And she is not on an IEP or 504 plan. All right, my special population student. This student's qualifying condition on his IEP is a specific learning disability, which impairs his ability to be able to keep up with his peers in the class. And modifications, extended time, flexible seating when testing, use of dictionary, math, extended time, flexible seating, use of calculator,